Welcome back to Spec. Today I will show you how I created my narrative base for my Primaris Librarian. Yeah, check that power. Okay, so we're going to make this one simple. We're going to make sure we've got our paints and the colour that you're choosing for your psychic powers. Now, because I'm creating bases for my Psykers for the Blackstone Fortress from now, I'm going to use this colour from the warp. Offshoots from a hot glue gun. Okay, now you get these when you're using a hot glue gun and it kind of like strands. The best way of doing this is getting some mortar and just using your hot glue and just putting it into like a little bowl of water and swirling it around. And don't use up too much glue, but you just get these strands and just pull them until they look about right. And obviously you're going to need yourself a base, and this is actually a reclaimed base. So it's for another project and we're going to be using it now. So as always, decide how you want your base. Now I'm going to place this on here. It's got a bit of a round edge. I already started cutting it in half, and I'm just going to double layer. So I think that if I go like that, there, and this one here. And the reason why I'm using a double layer effect is that then when I'm putting a Psyker on top of here, I'm using bits of this rock to fly out. Once we connect our glue section. So this is just a 5mm cork board. I'm going to glue this on here with a touch of super glue and then come back. Okay, so now we've got that base ready. As you can see there, I've just double layered it on the cork board. Very simple. I'm just going to sponge this black. I'm not going to bother to add any sand to this, but if you want to, you can. It won't actually take that long to do. Just for a bit of expediency and time, I'm just going to paint that black using our trusty sponge. I'll get back to you. Okay, once you've done your base, got that bit ready, this is still wet, just leave it to let it dry and then start mixing up your colour for grey. Just a little touch of white and black, and then you're just going to dry brush edges, and we're going to turn this into a basic urban base. Or maybe I'll go volcanic. Well, let's see. I'll surprise you when I come back. Okay guys, as you can see, I've just added in part chaos symbol, added in the lava. I've just gone for a high contrasted orange and black, you know, nature danger signs. And by the time that we kind of colour up our hot glue pieces, this should be dry and we'll be ready to go and stick them on. These bases are always fun, and you know, I can just see those Psykers from the Blackstone Fortress with their cool chains like tied down to this piece of rock, and they're just hovering around with all the power coming out and erupting. It's going to be brilliant. I will say that those Chaos Space Marines also look really good, but they kind of remind me of you know, the Space Marines from the Dark Vengeance box set. So I'm not too sure if they're meant to be unique or not. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just basically stuck those strands on and just colour them orange. So that's the power colour that I want for the Psyker. Now the cool thing I'm going to do is going to take bits of our cork board, I'm going to paint them black, and then I'm going to stick them directly onto these little strands. Just one or two little pieces. So that when we add our model, it looks like this is all like whipping up around them, almost like a vortex of heat and flame or psychic power opening up to the warp. That's what we're going to do with that. Okay. Be careful with the super glue, because you will glue your fingers, and that's the best way I found of gluing these. Just those strands, those hot glue strands. Okay, so I'm going to do that and get back. Okay, now you can see it's been done. So you have those like little projections coming off. There you go. Now you can see those little projections coming off. Just there, it's a bit easier to see with this white piece of paper behind that. All we're going to do now is just add in some more black paint. We're just going to edge the kind of lava-based scorched earth with a touch of white edges. And if you want to, you could use directional lighting for the energy coming up and just repaint the base black. I'll show you that as soon as I've done. Okay, so when you're painting the edges here, always paint towards the direction of the model that's going to be on there. So as you can see, I made a point of just like send the brush towards the center there. Use a slight white edge highlighting and just put a little orange on top. And just always move towards where the model will be standing. It gives it a sense of motion. Right, there you go. Simple, quick, fast, effective. Now, depending upon what you want to do, you could do this in slightly different ways. Now, this is my librarian from the Warhammer Conquest. I've included some wires in there. You know, it's pulled up the whole street. There's even a little newspaper in there. And he's just basically pulling out the rubble. So it has different effects. You can do it in slightly different ways, at different colours, however you want to do it. As I said, there's no wrong way. But I'm looking forward to using that for my Blackstone Fortress models. And as you can tell, there's a typical dynamic contrast of colours. You know, you've got your good and you've got your evil. Now, before I finish out, I would like to say the competition for the narrative bases has completed. Also got those models in the background there, and I have selected the winner, and I'll show you those pictures now. The winner is Mention 1984, an Instagram poster, and he's used these sprues as the internal parts of a ship, and they look fantastic. Quick and simple. So if you can contact me with your details, I will be sending that over to you in the post, and I get to you as soon as possible. Congratulations and well done. Right, well, that's the end of our time. Appreciate your time here as always. I've had fun with you being here. Hopefully that helps you get your bases done, and as I say, make them look narrative and tell a story. The competition's now completed. There will be one in the future, but I think I'll give that a little bit of time. So if you can like, comment, share, subscribe, and if you can show me your narrative bases, or even show me how you'll do that different. I always love seeing bases. They're always interesting, especially when they come to the table with an amazing story. So this has been Spect, and as always, PC out.